Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Control. Did some running around bullshit, unlocked another outfit basically, I went to visit the janitor again to see if maybe he had anything else for me to do, and it was like, oh yeah, just rest on the bench, and I was like, okay, and then the outfit was on the bulletin board, and I was like, oh sweet. So I can go do the investigation sector because, fuck the slide projector thing. I don't give a shit. Nobody should give a shit. Fuck that thing. Ruined my life. I don't know if that passed through, but what the actual fuck? My headset is making a weird crackling noise. I don't know if that's coming through, if it's just on my end, but I don't like it. Stop! Why are you doing this? Alright. Oh, I don't like this at all. Oh.
Hello? Anyone here?
Guess not.
Oh, actually, aren't I really behind on the readings? Oh no. Alright, I guess I should probably get working on that. Okay. Keystone inspection. Mr. Kirkland, we stopped at Keystone on our way to the target AWE like you asked. I'm sending my report directly to you to try and keep a lid on this Grumman Morales desertion issue. We didn't find any sign of them here. Given their records, it is possible they switched teams like you suspected, but I don't think that's the case. An event definitely occurred here in Keystone, and I think Grumman and Morales got caught up in it. The entire population has vanished into thin air. Reminds me of the ordinary case, but that was just the adults, if I'm remembering the file correctly. This is different. I think our guys are casualties, not traitors. If it was an AWE, it seems to be over. We walked through the whole town, and the only strange thing we noticed were markings on various buildings. 2 overlapping circles with a dot in the shared space. Could be unrelated. I'll show you the pictures when I get back. In the meantime, you should send a team out here to cordon this place off and maybe get the comms guy working on a cover story. Multimedia. Threshold log 2, 3. When you're caught in a house shift. Threshold kids.
Ramsey, Ranger Captain.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Oof, yeah. Emergency call supplement. 911, what's your emergency? Hello. Hello, I'm here. Can you hear me? I can hear you, ma'am. Where are you? I'm, inside the wires. I'm lost. Ma'am, have you been drinking tonight? I feel like I'm stretching through the wires. Towards you. Don't hang up. I might go if you hang up. Go where, ma'am? Go. Gone. Away. Okay, and can you describe your surroundings? Unknown noise. Ma'am? Hello, ma'am? Dispatcher attempted to call the number back, but that was no longer in service. That's creepy. Balloon procedures. Get well balloon. Item must be kept away from animals. The cell must be regularly cleaned of the black substance the item produces. All cleaning tools must be redacted along with the black substance itself. Item is a novelty balloon made of silver mylar. On its face is a colorful message to get well, surrounded by cartoon hearts. A ribbon is attached to the balloon. Item has not stopped floating after a considerable amount of time in the bureau, which suggests it does not hover through the use of helium. The item produces a dark-colored sticky substance which drips down the ribbon. Awful. The item was used in the children's ward of a local hospital in Redacted. Witnesses do not recall where the balloon came from. Therapy dogs, part of a program called Redacted meant to comfort the sick children, were noticeably attracted to the item. They reportedly jumped at the item, licking it when they could. The children claimed the dogs began walking through the halls of the hospital at night, howling in a low pitch. One child described the sound as singing. A few days later, the dogs were all discovered dead, a dark substance leaking from their Redacted. The hospital staff called local authorities who called the CDC. Bureau agents intercepted this call and arrived at the scene within redacted hours. The item was taken for evaluation along with the remains of the dogs. Poor dogs. Game Hammer. Note. Per Archival Mandates 8A, this document has been edited to meet current administrative standards. Certain terminology may be out of date. No method for suppressing the item's thermoturgical effect is yet known to prevent infection where proper safely gloves while handling. The item is a wooden mallet from a high striker carnival game. A long wooden handle extends from the head. The item infects any organic material with an unknown disease upon making physical contact. The effects of the disease are similar to leprosy, but develop at a much faster rate. Within a matter of days, tissue loss develops in the limbs closest to the point of infection. While the disease itself is not claiming any lives, secondary infection has resulted in numerous deaths. Picnic basket. The item came to the Bureau's attention through several news reports in which a family was harassed by animals during a picnic in the redacted national park. The family fled the scene with the basket. Witnesses report seeing the family chased by the following species of animal. Redacted, redacted, redacted. The family eventually abandoned the basket, at which point the animals remained with it for an unknown length of time. Agents acquired the item from the park's lost and found offices. Guru surfboard. No unique procedures required. Any attempts to abuse the object's effects for personal gain will result in termination. An antique surfboard, believed to originate from the 1960s due to its design. The item enhances self-confidence when touched. The duration of this effect is redacted. The item came to the Bureau's attention through a popular nationwide tour of speaking engagements advertising the item as a proven miracle worker, especially for those afflicted by personal shortcomings. This self-help course was called The Power of the Board, created and operated by a man named Chester Bless. Numerous attendees experienced an immediate surge in optimism and daring after touching the item. Once the craze reached a fever pitch with events attracting thousands of people, the Bureau took action. Agents raided Mr. Bless's Los Angeles home, only to find the house empty and the man gone. Only the item remained in the house, in plain sight. Creepy. Alright, we're caught up. Whee. Come on.
See.
Mr. Kirkland, here are the latest agents confirmed missing, presumed dead from the containment breach yesterday. Bunch of names. Letters of condolences will be delivered to you to sign prior to sending them to their families. You will be updated as soon as additional confirmations are made. Also, per your request, a network engineer checked how many cases were backed up digitally. Unfortunately, a large number of active investigations were not archived yet, and the only hard copies of reports exist behind the firebreak. They're lost, I'm afraid.
Seems a lot more crowded than the rest of the Bureau.
Tractor supplement. No, miscommunication led to a local coroner examining the body of William Burr. Okay, a 33-year-old man found dead on remains obtained for coroner's office also include blood, urine, bile, stomach contents, and bone fragments. Blunt force injuries, head. Lacerations, left ear and cheek. Blunt force injuries on the extremities, a dislocation of the right knee, and a complete avulsion of the right upper extremity with associated fracture of the proximal right humerus, extensive trauma in the abdominal region, complete avulsion of multiple organs including stomach, heart, liver, pancreas, kidneys, and portions of the large and small intestine, all missing from scene. Conclusion: it is my opinion that Mr. Burr's death is not the result of a mechanical accident as claimed by authorities. The removal of organs is consistent with an animal. My thing keep scratching. I really don't want to have to get another fucking headset. Oh my god, there's so many. To whom it may concern, it is with great anger and regret that I tender my resignation as head of investigations for the Federal Bureau of Control. I do this in protest of the rampant disregard for my department's redacted. My staff cannot continue to work in these conditions. Previous requests and warnings have fallen on deaf ears, so I must now rely on my actions to speak louder than my words ever could. I blame the situation on our redacted, who has routinely ignored my request for assistance in reclaiming the part of investigation sector lost to the redacted loose inside. I will never forget the screams of brave agents begging for us to open that firebreak. I will carry that shame for the rest of my days. The redacted has failed its agents. I shall never forgive them for that. Sincerely, William Kirkland. Oh. There's so many. Mr. Dennis, so yes, there's an increase in AWE cases, and yes, it would be a good idea to put together a special task force to examine exactly why that is. However, it seems that a tiny detail that has slipped through the cracks. We don't have the damn staff. If you expect us to detect, investigate, and process more AWE cases, more people, it's simple math. Between the staff we lost in the Hartman thing and the ones we left for other departments after Kirkland quit, we're barely managing to keep up with the workload. Hell, just finding the paperwork for all the items we left behind in that sector has been an ordeal. Another thing, and this is going to sound paradoxical, but we have an overcrowding situation. This lobby isn't meant to accommodate a whole sector's worth of staff. We put forward a motion to move investigations to a more suitable location months ago. It better not still be sitting on your desk. The people are getting restless, and as Kirkland's interim replacement, it's your job to handle it. Wow. This place is just not going well. I'm not sure what the point would be of unplugging that. Ooh, a Darling investigation. Official findings report read Dr. Casper Darling, internal confidential. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, internal investigation D0845 was launched into the ethical practices of Dr. Casper Darling, head of research. Despite the accounts of anonymous redacted regarding inhumane treatment of a redacted currently housed in the Bureau, our office findings regarding this were inconclusive. Numerous obstacles arose during this investigation. The majority of redacted sector personnel seemed to be wholly unaware of any such redacted contained there. One redacted confirmed the redacted's code name to be redacted, but all files pertaining to that name were inaccessible, being classified under the highest clearance level. Investigators were similarly blocked from entering the redacted research wing to investigate its staff. The matter was further complicated by the lack of clarity on whether non-human paranatural entities warrant humane treatment. While this investigation cannot address any charges against Dr. Darling, we do recommend an investigation into the redacted research. Not really surprising. Casey inquiry. A request came through recently from an FBI agent asking for all our files on Bright Falls, specifically on the disappearance of the author Alan Wake. Per the Interagency Information Exchange Agreement, I had some paper pushers gather up a folder of the pre-approved files. Don't worry, all the inappropriate material is either missing or redacted. But I'm writing to let you know that we received this request from a special agent named Alex Casey. Sounds familiar, right? That's because Alex Casey is the name of the fictional detective in those hard-boiled crime books Alan Wake wrote. Pretty interesting that an FBI agent sharing a name with the most famous character Wake wrote is looking into a case dealing with a writer's fiction coming true. I think this is worth looking into, but what's your opinion? Just get the word and I'll start surveillance on the guy. Yeah, and I was looking it up earlier. The developer Remedy, I think, they were the ones who worked on the Alan Wake series. So yeah, this is a sort of a nod to that. To Chief Investigator Dennis. It happened again, a third time this year. Something certainly has it out for redacted. Could be raccoons. The locals certainly complain about them enough. But why the hell would raccoons keep going after a monitoring station? It doesn't add up. Anyway, I've got a bureau tech going to the site next week to take a look. Next on the list of recurring problems is the staff at the Lake House Research Station. How am I supposed to effectively keep an eye on Redacted Lake if they won't let me see any data? Hell, I don't even know what they're researching out there. We need to petition them again to share their info with investigations agents. It's only a matter of time before this redacted hits again, and I want to be prepared. Anyway, if anyone at HQ asks why the Bright Falls report is a little thin this month, tell them it's because we couldn't take any readings. In the meantime, I might invest in some raccoon traps. Sincerely, Agent Estevez. So many things to read, please. Oh my god. Ooh, director investigation. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, Redacted was launched into the Redacted of Director Zachariah Trench. A recent change in Redacted witnessed in Director Trench, including aggressive Redacted when Redacted with the other staff, has been observed. However, this investigation is aimed at interpreting this issue rather than proving it. Notable Redacted between Director Trench and Dr. Darling has been witnessed by numerous Bureau staff. Although both declined to meet for an interview on the matter, witness accounts suggest their arguments center around the Dimensional Research Wing and the Redacted kept inside. However, no evidence exists to confirm Director Trench as anything more than interpersonal disagreements. The investigation has concluded that Director Trench's behavior is not indicative of any redacted, and that his fitness to lead is not in question. Refer to file redacted for the full report. Man, they're just really going at it, aren't they? Underhill background. Dr. Rana Underhill is a professor at the University of Woodrow in the United Kingdom, where she teaches biology with a focus on botany. Dr. Underhill once worked with the Bureau as a parabotanist stationed in the research sector of the oldest house. She shared with no instance or demerits and is praised by those who formerly worked with her, including Dr. Darling. Dr. Underhill has no known connections to paracriminal organizations or any record of breaching her NDA since leaving the Bureau. Her civilian behavior has been ideal, with the exception of an ongoing personal relationship with Dr. Darling that appears to have begun during their time as co-workers in the research sector and revisited intermittently ever since. Depending on the duration of her work in the oldest house, it may be required to have both parties sign a relationship clearance form. This investigation has found no compelling reason to deny Dr. Darling's request to offer Dr. Underhill an interim position with the aim of finding solutions to the mold threshold issue. Yay, thingies! I just like to shoot window. Ooh. I feel like that's a reference to something. Kirkland, I am growing tired of your blatant attempts to lay your incompetence at my doorstep. I know you want this to be true, but you are head of investigations. This failure is your responsibility. What do you think would happen to holding a dangerous specimen investigations? The containment sector exists for a reason. They are better trained and better equipped for this type of work. In fact, they have admirably taken on certain AWE monitoring responsibilities that your staff are no longer capable of. This happens more and more now. And don't think your petty internal investigations have gone past my notice. You are a worm. Everything I've done has been for the benefit of the Bureau. The Prime Candidate program only failed because of Darling. You are both failures, plotting against me. You are traitors, but the truth will emerge out of you. You are choosing to become my enemy, Kirkland. You don't want to be. Sakurai, Trench Director at the Federal Bureau of Control. Yeah, this definitely seems to be, Trench going absolutely nuts. I'm great. I'm gonna have to move that thing to open up the doors down there. Oh god, ethics investigation. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, internal investigation, a whole bunch of numbers, was launched into the legality of the Prime Candidate program, redacted by the Federal Bureau of Control. Since all known subjects relevant to the investigation used executive privilege to decline interviews, very little first-hand information was gathered. However, anonymous sources and documentation declassified by Mr. Kirkland both painted an alarmingly clear picture of systematic redacted and redacted. Redacted were brought into the oldest house and placed under redacted examination and testing with the aim of appointing one as director upon maturity. This program has produced no successful cases and only resulted in traumatic redacted of paranaturally inclined redacted. Not only is this in breach of the ASH Act, but it flies in the face of basic human redacted. This investigative team unequivocally redacted the Prime Candidate program and recommends that that be redacted immediately. Tractor procedures. Item is not in Bureau custody, none known. A Frank elk tractor, olive green, dried blood on the grill when last seen. Item is capable of vocalized responses, or growls, and unmanned locomotion. Considered highly aggressive and dangerous. The item first came to the Bureau's attention after the death of William Burrow, owner of the Burrow farm outside of Trenton, Texas. Local authorities arrived on the scene after an employee found the mutilated body of Mr. Burrow beneath his tractor. Police arrived, or immediately driven away by the tractor. Panic calls to federal authorities were intercepted by Bureau communications staff. A team was dispatched. Upon arrival, the agents approached the item and responded by growling like a bear. 3 agents were injured when they tried to detain the item, which escaped. Aerial searches for the item are ongoing. Speaking to Mrs. Burrow, only revealed that she had a domestic altercation with Mr. Burrow earlier the night of the incident. Whether these events are connected is currently unknown. I am very good at saying things out loud. Alright. Are there...
It's not working. Probably a loose power core somewhere.
Well, there's this one.
There. Now that gate should open.
But, like, what was that even doing? Like, why was it necessary to have it? Like, actually, what does that thing do? I couldn't tell you. Oh, this light, which wasn't really working anyways. I just love flying. More files to read, oh god. Specimen escape assessment. The purpose of internal investigation, a whole bunch of numbers, is to examine the containment failure of specimen S11 that resulted in the deaths of redacted agents. An inspection report of the containment equipment 3 days earlier showed no faults. Investigators suspect human error to be the cause, yet no department has provided any evidence to support this. Technicians were able to recover the researcher's notes on the specimen from the internal network. On the redacted of redacted, the specimen began displaying a sharp increase in aggressive redacted. Cross-referencing that date with various logs found only 2 events inconsistent with the sector's daily routine. 1. The L filters were changed, and 2. An hour prior to the incident, a civilian named Alice Redacted entered the sector regarding an unrelated incident. An unrelated investigation. Given their connection to the same AWE case, it's likely that Mrs. Redacted's presence is relevant to the specimen's escape and to the Redacted. Investigation is ongoing.
I'm no detective, but something definitely happened here.
Possibly. The Blessed Organization. The group individual has operated outside of the Bureau's notice for decades, perhaps longer, displaying a level of skill and caution rarely seen in paracriminal groups. A review of past cases has found various mentions of their activity over the years. In 2016, a production company called Blessed Pictures was connected to an altered item case, as well as the death of an agent from exposure to illicit paranatural materials. In 1994, a Los Angeles-based public speaker named Chester Bless was involved in the illegal use of an altered item. In 1988, a business called Blessed Repair and Service was suspected of involved with an object of power case, perhaps even creating it. None of these businesses or individuals have ever been located. However, their connection to appearances of altered items and objects of power is too direct to be considered circumstantial. An arrest order has been issued for any persons believed to be involved with the Blessed organization. Whoops. Oh man, I'm really excited about this.
Do we know each other? This feels familiar. I can't seem to... I've forgotten it. I'm sorry. My name is Alan Wake.
Will I actually, like, see Wake, or am I only just gonna see mysterious doodads? I fear.
Who are you? Who are you? Do I know you?
I'm your friend Tom. Tom Zane. There's nothing to worry about.
Tom. The poet. The diver. You look different.
That was just a role. A character. The protagonist I played in my old film. I'm a filmmaker. An auteur like yourself.
Wasn't Tom Zane the name of the poet that Jesse talked about?
Working on this together, remember? An artistic collaboration. You need a drink.
This is so fucking trippy.
Gib es.
Endless darkness. Nothing holds still.
But we're very close now. You've been riding. You found a way to escape. It'll work this time.
Riding?
You found a way!
No. I don't... Wait. There's something. It's my double. He's out there. I've seen him.
Yeah. Nothing to worry about. I'm dealing with it. It's fine, my friend. Let me handle it.
Zane is the
You fed
double.
him? What the hell?
Now, come on. You misunderstand me.
That was Alan Wake, the writer who went missing in that AWE case I read about. What's he doing here? And Thomas Zane was with him. The poet. No, wait. He was a filmmaker. I always remember that wrong.
Okay, that's usually a sign that I did something right. Oh god, that's so fucking creepy. Do the lights change?
Dr. Emil Hartman, devoured by hungry darkness, became the thing that had been Hartman. Broke loose, killed everyone it could, lurking, roaming, waiting. Then something else came, a resonance. The thing that had been Hartman went through another change.
I'm surprised it's not making me go through this one. Actually, I just want to see. Sometimes when I pass by here, I hear some weird noises. Okay, they should have like the full thing.
Dr. Emil Hartman was desperate. The Federal Bureau of Control had stolen his life's work. This was his last chance, his final experiment. What he'd been too scared to do before. Hartman dove into the lake, was taken, devoured by hungry darkness, became the thing that had been Hartman. Only an echo of him remained, fragmented impulses on autoplay. Violent, bloodthirsty darkness in the driver's seat. Emerging from the lake, the thing was captured by the FBC. Brought in, contained, studied. The thing broke loose, killed everyone it could. The FBC fell back and sealed the sector. The thing was alone in the dark, lurking, roaming.
Isn't that the
waiting.
name of another game?
Then something else came.
This.
Not darkness, but similar enough. A sound.
This.
It shouldn't be a surprise. If there's one, why not another? The darkness inside the thing could have been immune, could have resisted, fought, could have been passed by, passed through with no effect. But it didn't, and it wasn't. Maybe it had grown weaker over time, not aged. It was timeless, but weaker with no link to its source. A metamorphosis followed. The thing that had been Hartman went through another change.
Oh shit. I kind of wish I knew more about Alan Wake. Like, I remember going through like a Let's Play someone did. I don't remember who, but I don't remember a single thing about it.